show. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, I have in the studio with me Nana Ano here II. He's the National President of the Ghana Institute of Safety and Environmental Professionals. Let's see if we can get some tips about how to stay safe. Nana, you're welcome once again to the show. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been. I must say, you're looking very beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. I know some pepper them people who won't take it very lightly. Have you heard of the pepper them ministries?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Okay.
Who are these people?
Fred will tell you afterwards. Okay, so Nana, we've just looked at a couple of stories. A lot of stories about armed robberies. I mean, the police yesterday assured that they're doing their best. They're increasing their presence. They're going on swoops, arresting people unawares, etc. But let's start from how we as individuals can keep ourselves safe. For those of us who don't have this sort of ammunitions in our homes, how do we keep ourselves safe?
Well, keeping ourselves safe is basically really not what I came here to talk about.
Okay.
I came to talk about how motorbikes are being used by armed robbers to ply their trade.
But let's just say we can start from the point where, a few tips here and there, if it's available.
Yes, for individual, being alert and being each other's keeper. I mean, most times we in the residential areas like Spinters and Airport Residential and West Legon and all that, we build a high wall around us. And those high walls, when you have an intrusion by an armed robber, they hold you to a gun, you will be able to raise the alarm. But the people who are on the street, who can see inside your house, they will be the people who raise the alarm. But we in Ghana, we have this obsession of having high walls. We garrison ourselves, we put ourselves in jail.
But isn't it a part of keeping yourself safe?
No, it's not. In the UK that I know, most of these houses, stately homes, they are not walled. You have hedges.
But you can draw a certain line between the UK system and the Ghana system. At least in the UK, for sure that if you should have an emergency and you call on the police right now, that it will take them a few minutes to reach you.
Yeah, but that is not the case. The high walls are counterproductive.
So they don't help.
They don't help, really. If I had my way, I would advise that everybody should have a short wall, because if your house there's an intrusion in your house, it's the people who are walking the street. They will be able to raise the alarm. And then also the robbers, when they know that the public sees their activities or what they are doing, they will be deterred from carrying out all their nefarious activities. So we really need to stop these high walls that we put around us, and as if we are harboring some billions of gold and stuff like that in our houses. So basically, let people see what is going on in our homes, so that they will raise the alarm in the event that we have such unfortunate incidents such as these armed robberies. I mean, I must say, there's a spate of armed robberies going on recently. I saw on the footage that you were enumerating a lot of armed robberies.
We've been to Kaswa, and since last month we've been to Kaswa.
Yes, so
just yesterday we were in Tantra Hill, Mile 7. You look at the Upper West region, there have been a number of them that our correspondent have reported on.
And I saw a beautiful lady in one of the footages, and who says women are not courageous. When they were pointing even a gun at her,
that she was struggling with them. But is that a particularly wise thing to do?
No, it's not a wise thing to do. But what I'm saying that she was very courageous.
Right, to have struggled with the armed robbers.
Probably I'll say foolhardiness, but really struggling with the armed robbers. And they gave a slap before she actually gave in. They're just admiring how courageous she was.
Because that could have ended up killing her.
Yes,
and I think that one of the ways
it's not the right thing to do. But,
I think that one of the ways to stay safe in the face of armed robberies is also not to endeavor to struggle with them. I don't know really where you stand on that, but I think that if you should struggle with them, one of the easiest things for them to do is to kill you and just walk away.
I think it was an instinct. Just her instinct.
An instinct to fight. I'll come back to you, Nana, but let me engage Joe Saple. He's Executive Secretary of the Small Arms Commission. Sir, thank you very much for your time here on The Pulse. Let me start by asking you, how much work, I mean, actually we can say of how much work you have put in, your commission has put in trying to get rid of, arms in the wrong hands. It's especially this year, we've heard of you quite a few times saying all the work you're doing and the efforts you're putting in, but it still appears with the stories that we have done just between last month and this particular month, some we have even missed, about the number of armed robberies that are going on, people with guns shooting around, that your work isn't yielding much fruit. What's your next line of action?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Aple, can you hear me?
The line is so faint.
Okay, let me try it one more time. So what I'm trying to find out is, in the face of what appears to be a clear inability of your commission to get rid of arms in the wrong hands, and I'm saying that based on the reportage that we have done on armed robbery just between last month and this month, so many of them within just Accra, you know, Accra and Kaswa, if I should put it that way, that it appears that you're putting a lot of work, a lot of efforts, as you have told us, but we're not seeing the results.
Well, I didn't get the I don't get your question very, very clearly, but I think what you want to know is about the state of
if you could speak up a bit, sir, I'm having difficulty.
What I'm saying is that I didn't get your question very clearly. The question was,
okay.
I mean, the line was very, very, very faint.
How far have you come as a commission trying to get rid of arms in the wrong hands?
Well, this has been a problem. It's a problem that has been in Ghana for a very long time. I mean, the issues about the possession of guns in civilians. I mean, it's been a problem. It's only in recent times that we've realized that a lot of people or civilians pick up arms to, as it were, terrorize or abuse the weapons. So, as to whether or how far the committee has come in trying to address this issue, for me, it's not something that we can solve overnight. I mean, we've had gun culture for civilians in Ghana since the 18-something. It's now that we've realized that the possession of guns in the hands of civilians are being a challenge to our development. So it is something that we need to adopt a step-by-step approach, you know, in trying to solve the problem.
Talking about,
we have put the message out there a number of times what needs to be done.
Right. Talking about adopting a step-by-step approach, what are you going to do now, since it appears that your
for now, because the guns are with us, I mean, there are a number of things that we need to do. I mean, some of them will put them out. The need for us to, you know, all the security agencies to have their information gathering capability, which is being done. And the need for us to find a way of cultivating informants. I mean, that is very, very, also very important. We are also looking at how the weapons come to Ghana. I mean, our borders, we are looking at our ports. The government is trying to deploy scanners there, etc., to check the coming in of
Mr.
the coming of these weapons. Sorry?
Yeah, I think we'll have to leave the conversation here. The sound is not very great at the moment, but I think I get the point that you're making. Jones Aple is Executive Secretary of the Small Arms Commission there, bringing us up to speed. Like I said, very soon we'll be hearing the confession of a reformed armed robber who is claiming that political leaders are actually to blame for the proliferation of illicit weapons. We'll bring you that soundbite in a bit. But let me finish up with Nana here. Nana, you were mentioning another aspect of the armed robbery incidents. So you mentioned the use of motorbikes. What about that, and how can we prevent that?
Yeah, see, the armed robbers are using motorbike as a means of escape. I mean, if they cannot really successfully conduct their operations if they don't have a means of escaping.
Right.
And they find motorbikes as the convenient vehicle to use for their nefarious activities. Now, what I'm saying basically is that the reason why we cannot track these armed robbers, because our motorbikes in the system are not registered. And if really, motorbikes are registered to the owners. We have the owners on a database, and we know that this motorbike or any motorized vehicle is properly registered. It cannot be used to conduct an armed robbery and get away with it, because if just by seeing the number plate of the motorbike.
But some are registered, actually.
No, but the majority of the motorbikes are not registered.
So how then do we deal with it?
Yeah, we deal with it. Then see, the reason why I came really strongly to talk about the usage of motorbikes in such incidents is that, if I may quote the senior minister, he said a while ago that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented, and even you don't have to go far. Just Rwanda here, in Central Africa, Rwanda have perfected the art of policing motorbikes. They have a special division that only deals with motorbike.
Okay.
Because they've recognized that, I mean, they say that people who use motorbikes are deviants. I mean, I don't think I'm a deviant. I'm an average motorbike rider.
Oh, you love motorbikes. I
love motorbikes.
Okay.
It's in the blood.
Okay.
But saying that motorbike riders are deviants, and you know, there's few of them give the bad name that every motor rider is a deviant. But it's the most economical way of transporting oneself in the midst of all these traffic jams and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that the Rwanda government have set up a special division that deals with motorbikes. So every motorbike that you see on the street of Rwanda is registered.
It's registered.
And
okay.
How do we monitor this registration? You know, when they register the motorbike, it's linked to your national ID. So it's a good thing that the national ID is coming up, is being rolled out. So when you roll out the national ID, then you link every motorbike that is registered to one's national ID. So once you've been properly captured in the national data or the registration data, you cannot go and just use your motorbike for armed robbery, and you will be caught in no time at all.
Okay.
So the system, as we have it, because we don't have perfect registration for motorbikes, that's why people can go and carry out armed robberies.
So you're advocating that we should set up, or the Ghana Police Service should set up a special unit that deals particularly with motorbikes, and that will help?
Yes, it is, and many other things. You see,
let's wrap up on this.
Yes, Okada is now gone out of hand. Okada is now come to stay, and we have not found solution to the menace of Okada. So, in all of that, if you solve the problem with Okada and find solution to this registration of motorbikes and stuff like that.
That's like killing two birds with one stone.
Not two birds. Numerous birds with one stone.
Okay, Nana, we say very big thanks to you for coming by the studio. Nana Ano here the second is the national president of the Ghana Institute of Safety and Environmental Professionals, and he was here to talk about how we can deal with the spate of armed robberies that we're looking at now.